Hello everyone, my name is Janine Rosche. Thank you so much to Tony for inviting me on to share an excerpt from my new book, With Every Memory. In this story, the Mendenhall family has experienced a big tragedy which took the life of their 17-year-old son, Austin, leaving his twin sister, Avery, behind. Mom, Lori, suffers a traumatic brain injury, which has taken the last 8 years of memories from her. And through this story, as she slowly gains her memories back, she starts realizing that the person she had become and the family that she had was not what she had once hoped for. At the same time, Avery needs to make up an entire year of schoolwork where she had basically hidden herself away in her room. The person who's assigned to help her do that is none other than Xander Dixon, her brother's best friend, with whom she has a very love-hate relationship. In this scene, Avery has just met with her parents and her principal to discuss the amount of work she's going to have to do in order to graduate with her peers. Stupid, dumb, idiotic waste of time. After that nightmare of a meeting, I waited with Mom out in front of the school until Dad pulled the car up. I folded Mom's walker and stuck it in the trunk while Dad helped her into the car. Seeing her exhaustion only made the situation worse. I moved to her door. "Thanks for coming, Mom." I even managed to smile. "I'm glad I was able to be here. I'm proud of you, sweet girl," she said. Not as proud as she would have been of Austin. I decided to let that one slide. She wasn't the villain here. Dad, on the other hand. I waited until Dad shut the passenger side door before I spoke. "I'm 18. In the state of Colorado, I can legally quit school. I don't need to go back in there." He checked his phone for notifications. "Yes, you do. You aren't going to just sit around your room making those fashion videos." Dad took his focus off work long enough to discover my video channel? Wow, Dad, you knew about that? It's like you're actually part of my life. He tucked his phone into his pocket. "You're going back to school, and you'll accept Xander's help." He held me gently by my shoulders. "Look, honey, this has been a horrendous year, but we can't give up. You're a Mendenhall. You have too much intelligence and talent to keep hiding away from the world." I dragged out a sigh until my lungs begged for a new breath. "Avery, you and I have always been the strong ones. I need you to remember that." "What am I supposed to do? Act like you and pretend nothing happened?" He dropped his hands. "That's not fair, and you know it." "Sorry, Dad." Lie. I wasn't sorry for telling it like it was. I backed away, then leaned against the brick wall beneath the words Front Range High School and watched my parents leave the lot. On my left, one of the front doors opened. I didn't need to look to know it was Xander. He had no boundaries or self-awareness. A quick glance showed him mimicking my exact pose a few yards away. The least he could do was say something. I'd never known him to bite his tongue, but the silence dragged, making things super awkward. "You got taller," I stated, still staring straight ahead. Yeah, my mom said I had a real growth spurt. Thanks for noticing." This was getting way too friendly. "You're still ugly, though." Xander snickered. He'd always been smug and overconfident, even when he was short and had big ears, bad hair, and braces. The awkward stage trifecta. I couldn't tell if the braces were still there, but it didn't matter. Xander Dixon was hot. "And you're still mean," he said. "It's nice to know that hasn't changed." Now it was my turn to laugh. "Oh, I'm the mean one?" "Let me guess. You're still mad I told everyone you scored the role of Quasimodo in the live-action version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame." Oh, if only that was it. Xander rolled to face me and picked at the brick quietly, long enough for me to feel like I'd swallowed that wasp, and it was now swirling inside my belly. "Stopped by your house a bunch of times," he said. "Why wouldn't you see me?" The answer to that would take the rest of the school day. "I didn't even know if you were home," he continued when I stayed silent. "No one did. I tried my best to squash the rumors about where you'd gone. Cross-country move, rehab, suicide attempt, psychiatric ward. My favorite was that you joined a family of gorillas in the Congo. Sounds pretty fun, actually." "Why are you telling me this?" "So you know you were missed." Austin was missed, not me. The simple mention of his name was enough for grief to swarm over me and for pain to etch into my skin. I pushed off the wall and strolled to the student parking lot. "Where are you going?" Xander asked, following a few feet behind me. "None of your business." "Shouldn't we talk about tutoring?" "I don't need your help." "But you won't graduate. What will you do without a high school diploma? How will you get a job?" "I'll go back to social media influencing." "How do you know brains are still interested? You've been offline a long time." Shows how much he knows. I guess I'll wait tables or something. Oh, with your chipper personality? I paused, debating on whether to challenge him. Deciding not to, I stepped quickly between two cars, making him fall behind. And when I reached my Wrangler, I opened the driver's door and tossed my bag onto the passenger seat. Xander finally caught up to me. Avery, are you okay? This couldn't go on. I looked him dead in the eye. Don't do that. Don't do what? Pretend you care. He stepped forward, close enough to touch me, close enough for me to smell the woodsy cologne that had replaced his cheap body spray. The whole situation had a dizzying effect on me, and I didn't like it. What if I'm not pretending? Then you're the one who needs help. I climbed into my Jeep. True to form, he threw his hand out and stopped me from shutting the door. I flattened my palm against his chest to push him back, but he grasped onto me so I couldn't pull away. His heart hammered the heel of my hand. Leave me alone, Xander, or I'll make you pay. He released me, but instead of moping about like a person with actual feelings, he smiled like an idiot. Promise? Ugh. Unfortunately, he moved just far enough away that I couldn't run over his foot when I backed out. This day kept getting worse. He stood there watching me drive away with that satisfied look on his not ugly face, acting like he had some kind of right to my feelings, my thoughts, even my time. And not that it mattered, but yes, he had gotten his braces off. So that is a little bit from my new story, With Every Memory. I hope you guys give this story a chance. It is very near and dear to my heart. Thank you once again to Tony for inviting me on to share an excerpt from my story. Thanks so much.